Welcome to episode 11 of Flip the Scrip, or maybe 10. Shoot, can't remember. But today we have a special guest because we just finished up InfoComm in Orlando, and I have a dear friend from my days in Minneapolis who now lives in Orlando. So we have invited him to come to our post InfoComm episode. So he won't be necessarily talking about all of the technology at InfoComm, but there is, the whole Orlando link that we have here. So he'll be joining us after a few, but in the meantime, let's say hi to Fang and David.
Hey.
Hey, we're back. It's been
good to be back.
A week?
Let's bring Kelly down here.
Yeah, it's been since, I guess our pre-InfoComm episode that went like super long, and we talked about sninkling and all of that fun stuff.
I gotta say, I'm glad we're doing this show because when InfoComm ended, I was sad. I'm like, I'm not gonna see. I saw the whole farm gang. The whole farm gang got to hang out. I'm like, I might not get to see any farm people for like a year, but it's not so bad because I see you guys. This it's not as good, but it makes it a little easier.
Yeah,
it is nice.
Yeah,
you get a little taste every so often. I think that's more than enough.
Yes.
So we're gonna all three of us were at InfoComm. We actually all got to hang out, which is super cool. Should we talk about some stuff we actually saw there?
Let's
David,
go.
You wanna
Let's go right to the news.
Here we go.
I love that. So much. Now, the big news, I think, was the fact that InfoComm itself, it was a success, an unqualified success. At this point, it's the last few years have been so hard for the world, but for physical events, I mean, come on, physical events, it couldn't have been any worse. And the fact that it was an okay show, or it was a good show if you consider this and that, but just flat out, boom, it was a good show. There were like 36,000 registrants, just under 30,000 attendees, and it felt like there were 30,000 people there.
Yeah, definitely.
And you guys tell me, the traffic at the booths, it was what really matters is, are there customers at the booths? Are there end users? Or is it just us? Is it just the industry walking around talking to each other? No, there were end users at the booth. People were getting leads. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. So in my mind, that's the big story.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely, I mean, I've only been to two totals. I've only been to last year's Vegas and then this year in Orlando. And honestly, I would say the room was just as full, at least from my eye, compared to Vegas. I mean, not knowing any of the numbers or anything like that. It was certainly like things like UFC booth, for example. It was just a madhouse all the time, which is good. We even talked about the idea of we tried to convince a couple of the guys in the booth to just buy next year, just buy the surrounding booths and just knock them down, just clear them out, just to give more breathing space. But no, it was cool. It was cool. And a lot of cool stuff too. I was honestly really impressed with a lot of cool technology that I saw from things like USC, from Philips, from Listen. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. And obviously the people like getting to see all of that and interact with not just, internally amongst ourselves as professionals and stuff, but also getting to talk to end users and people that would actually use this stuff and actually get all the cool benefits from all the things we're excited about. So yeah, it was a good time.
Anything in particular, anything that you just remember walking by a certain booth and oh, that is cool new technology I haven't seen before?
I mean, I know I've won the SeerVision collaboration with QSys. So SeerVision is, I don't know if you guys know, but SeerVision is a camera tracking technology that was developed in Europe that is like it's kind of like QSC's answer to One Beyond, if you guys are familiar with that. It's kind of like a multi-cam. It automatically switches cameras. Yeah, automatically switches cameras, automatically pans, tilts, and zooms. It like makes a wireframe skeleton of whatever it's seeing or whoever it's seeing, and uses that to actually move the cameras. But the reason why it's a big deal is because up until this point, all QSys has really had is their automatic camera preset recall, which has been good because it automatically switches camera presets, but you're just getting cuts. You're not getting like what essentially amounts to like a cameraman actually following a person, right? And you can do a bunch of cool stuff with it too.
They were saying that they filmed an entire junior NBA tournament without any camera operators using this technology, which is insane to me.
It's nuts. And what was really cool is that you could do things like what I saw that I was really impressed with, you could set up zones. So for example, if you're seeing like a presenter at the front of a room, and the camera's automatically like I said, panning, tilting, and zooming to capture this person and keep them in frame. You can draw like a little box around a certain area that causes other things to happen. So in this case, in the demo, this guy walked into just looked like a green box on the screen, and then the lights behind him turn on, like up lights. So you could do things like make that trigger spotlights. You can make that trigger any number of actions to happen in your room, which is going to be crazy powerful whenever it gets fully integrated with things like QSYS. So yeah, that was definitely one of the more exciting developments and technologies that I saw.
That's cool and sexy and everything, but it's also actually useful because in the meeting rooms, we have a lot of technology that doesn't get used because, we love it, right? We went to InfoComm, we saw the demos, we want to press the buttons all day. You put in the meeting room and the sales team is like, we're here to talk about sales. I don't want to press any buttons. I don't want to learn how to use that touch pad with the thing and the, I'm not a video gamer. I don't want to do that. I want to do sales. So if it's just, it detects when the person sits down and that's when the meeting starts. It detects when the person stands up and that's when the whiteboard lights up. Oh, they'll actually use the tools that we spend so much time, setting up for them. So this is actually useful.
It was super exciting. And there's a lot of cool stuff too. I saw the EAW demo when they demoed the AC6, and those things just sound amazing. And it's funny because like, to me, speaker demos, I've had a hard time distinguishing them a lot of the times. Like when I was coming up in audio, and I'll just go to like some whether it be a trade show or it's like a demo at a local shop. Like, yeah, you just play music really loud and it sounds good, but it's just loud music coming through a speaker. Like, it's going to sound the same to me throughout these different spectators or positions. But what made the AC6 a big deal is that they use adaptive technology to actually uniformly cover a space, which a lot of the time you have speakers that are just super directional, right? So you move any number of degrees left or right, front or back, then you lose something, whether it be level or it just tonally it sounds different. Where the AC6, for example, as part of their adaptive series, it's uniform, level, tonality, everything across a space that they define in software. So that's a very powerful tool. So not only is it loud, it obviously sounds good, sounds great, but
it was very cool.
Yeah, what it can actually do with the technology and the software behind it is what makes it huge. So that was another really cool, impressive thing that I saw.
Yeah, well, we have a DJ who's going to join us in a few minutes, and he could verify. I was a high school DJ. I don't know if that counts, but even in high school DJ with the speakers I had at the time, there's some rooms where we point the speaker at the room, and there's some rooms where you have to point the speaker at the wall to get the sound. It's like, and I never figured out all the science behind it, but if what you're talking about, the technology can figure out, it doesn't matter where you point the speaker, it's going to make it all work right and sound good everywhere in the room. Oh, that would have saved a lot of the Sweet 16s I did back then.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Those were good gigs. Those are good gigs. Okay, so anything else from InfoComm?
Yeah, I want to see you in the WeHead.
Oh, right. We found the WeHead, and Kelly put me in it.
Hey, I'm in a WeHead. Hey, I'm in a WeHead. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Now, as I turned my head, it turned itself around and everything. This thing is the most controversial thing. I put that out on Twitter, and all these people were responding, and I just put it out because I thought it was funny. Look, we're laughing. And people are like, what do you think the use of that is really going to be? How can you defend it? I'm like, I'm not defending it. I just tweeted that was funny.
Slow your roll.
I could see it for demos, but it would never work for meetings. I'm like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
But they are serious. I went to their website. You can buy them, or you can quick kickstart them or something. You can get like an early founder edition.
Oh,
and the lady that was showing them was so nice.
And everyone's being mean and making fun of them. But maybe in 15 years, generation 27 of it will be like.
Yeah, there you go.
Because we always talk about meeting equity, and it, no matter how much we fix the camera angles, the stuff you're talking about before, the cameras being on the right person instead of just a big, angle of the meeting room, it's still best to be sitting in the room. And maybe it needs to be an android of us in the room with hologram technology and stuff that just doesn't work yet today. But if they're going to start leading us down that path, we should be nice to them.
Maybe you should reach out to them and see if you can get a prototype or
Yes.
get one of them so you can do like a business and analyst thing.
Should we have them as a guest on the show?
Oh my God. That would
Yes.
be fun.
Entirely, every day, always. We should do that yesterday. I love that idea.
All right.
Okay,
So
one more comment on Infocom.
Okay.
If anyone was wondering what the form factor of choice for the meeting room is going to be, it is the video bar. Okay, I mean, it's not the only thing. It's not going to be in every room, but wow, did I see a lot of video bars. Everybody's got a video bar. And the good news is they're good. I mean, it's not like, oh, be careful, there's a bunch of junky video bars out there. I mean, obviously, companies that are known for awesome sound are going to have video bars with awesomer sound. And companies that are known for awesome cameras are going to have awesomer cameras. But there's a lot of good video bars out there, and it makes so much sense for the meeting room. So I'm really happy to see that trend taking on.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot.
Right, now I'm done. Ready? So what's our next segment? We go to our guest segment, the tractor.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
We need some do music here or something, right?
We do. Welcome, Jeff Borg.
Yay! Where's my?
Oh, you're on mute, Jeff.
I think I was looking around back here, and I think somebody forgot to clean out the wagon.
Uh-oh.
Something. I'm not quite sure what it is.
The goat got in the wagon again.
That's where the goat went. There we go.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So, like we mentioned in the intro, Jeff is an old friend from Minneapolis, and he is also a DJ, and he has some amazing, what are they called? DJ clips? DJ?
I would call them mixes. Yeah.
Mixes. That's the right word.
Right. So, yeah, I started doing that about 4, 5, 6 years ago. Just started recording my live mixes and putting them up, and it's been pretty popular. I mean, I don't have thousands of followers, but after today, I'm going to have at least 2 more, right, guys?
You got it.
Exactly.
For sure.
They're so good.
Guaranteed.
They're
I
so
appreciate
good,
that,
you
Kelly.
guys.
Thank you.
They are. We listen to him all the time. And he has Yacht Rock versions. He has an entire Minnesota version. He has a COVID version. He has one of my favorites is called, because he's DJ Borglando. One of them is called Borglando Nights. And there's even a newer one called Another Borglando Nights. So,
and a newer one coming out probably this weekend called Easy Day and Borglando Nights. Like
Nice.
I don't know if you remember TJ Swan, but that was a brand of TJ Swan back in. It was a very, very cheap wine that all the kids drank because it was only $1.99, and it was Easy Days and Mellow Nights, but kind of tweaked it a little bit. And
Yeah, there you go.
Easy
Awesome.
Day and Borglando Nights.
that's awesome. So yes, you guys have to look up DJ Borglando on SoundCloud because they're so fantastic. Whether you need some background music for working or you're having a party or whatever, it's so fun.
Yeah, I've got
Awesome.
80s, 90s. I even did you'd appreciate this, David. I did a Miami Vice. Took all the songs from Miami Vice that were kind of popular because that was a big thing back in the 80s, and put it into about an hour and a half mix of probably about 50 songs that were on Miami Vice, and kind of all mixed them together so they should have some cohesion. It's not just like one song stops. I try to blend them together a little bit.
Yeah,
I hate to
that's
admit
cool.
it, but in 1987 there was a 3-month period where I walked around in pastel t-shirts with white sports coat.
I love it. I love it.
Everybody was. You had to wear that Miami Vice look. It was ridiculous.
David, I insist you revive that look.
Oh, I wish there were pictures.
I was gonna say there's none.
I don't think there. I'll look, but I don't think there are. But I gotta buy. Mom, we gotta go shopping. I need pastel t-shirts.
White
gotta look like Don Johnson.
Yep, exactly right.
Love that.
So
That was actually the theme of my wedding. We did a Miami Vice wedding. We had I was wearing the pastel blue. All my groomsmen were wearing white sport coats with pastel blue. We even had our band was called Hookers and Blow.
Wow,
Oh, that's
that's
perfect.
awesome.
But as 80s as you can get.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Jeff has a cool story that he, I I hung out with Jeff and Lori, his wife, last week after InfoComm, and he was telling me this story that I had never heard before, but it was an experience where Jeff went to a Peter Frampton concert and then became famous.
Not as famous as Peter Frampton, but yeah, it was a Peter Frampton, and Peter Frampton actually opened for Steve Miller. Familiar with those guys, right? And Peter Frampton has been my guitar hero. I was really disappointed in seeing Peter Frampton about 10 years ago because he's kind of old now. He has very short hair. The big mane is gone.
Yeah.
But
he can still play though.
He can still play. Oh, absolutely. But my wife said, "Why are you so upset?" And she goes, "Oh my God, you thought you looked like Peter Frampton back in the day." I go, "Yeah, exactly right. I would look like Peter Frampton back in the day." And so we went to the concert, and it was wonderful. It was an outdoor venue just south of Minneapolis. And throughout the concert, the cameraman would swing out to the crowd, as they usually do, and somebody held up a Frampton Comes Alive album. And everybody went crazy. Yeah, nostalgia, Frampton Comes Alive. About 3/4 way through the concert, somebody held up another album, and Peter was in the middle of a solo, and the fans went crazy. And Peter's looking around like, "What's going on here? What?" And he finally figured out that the cameraman was swinging out, and what he put down his guitar. He started getting really upset. Put down his guitar, walked over to the cameraman, which had to be at least 300 pounds, maybe 4. And he grabbed his camera and he started pulling the camera away from the camera. And you can see the camera bouncing up and down as he's pulling the camera away. And then he stormed off stage. So we're all sitting there going, and the band is just like looking around going, "What's going on here?" So I'm on Twitter a little bit. I'm on social media. I'm engaged, I guess. So I put a little picture of the empty stage, and I put Peter Frampton just had a meltdown when the cameraman showed somebody in the audience and it wasn't him. Hashtag, excuse me, Frampton meltdown. And it went viral. I mean, it went viral. I was getting calls from all over the world, and I wasn't answering them until I started answering them about mid-afternoon. One was from a Ohio rock station. One was from a Detroit rock station. I was on there. I was on the radio. My wife called into KQRS, Kelly, and told the story. And if you Google, it's just so funny because just one little thing. If you Google Jeff Borg, Peter Frampton, you will see People Magazine, Time Magazine, UK Daily News. I mean, it just goes on and on and on with the picture that I took at the concert. Just kind of funny, 15 minutes of fame that I got. Right. Maybe more like 7.5 minutes, probably.
Kelly told me I Googled it and People Magazine comes up. I'm like, wow, this is so cool.
That's crazy.
It is funny. It was funny. So it was just kind of one of those things that how something really innocent. I mean, I have like maybe 100 followers on Twitter, but somehow somebody picked it up and retweeted it, and that's how it happens.
In defense of Peter Frampton, because I started following him a couple of years ago because I love him so much. Yeah, he is such a sweetheart. He is such a sweet man. I have to believe there's more to the story. Maybe the cameraman was like mocking him and giving him a look like, "Oh, you don't like this? I'm going to do it more." I mean, maybe there was something because or maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe his stomach hurt that day. Because
I think the bad day.
Guy.
I still love him, and I was not trying to mock him, and I apologized to him too. I mean, I tweeted him. I said, "I was the guy that did that. I'm so sorry because I just, you're the best." And even to this day, he never responded, not surprisingly.
Yes.
But, so hashtag Frampton Meltdown and Jeff Borg and Peter Frampton. So that was my claim to fame, which wasn't exactly the way I thought, I ever envisioned it. But
if he comes out with an album called hashtag Frampton Meltdown, the problem is if you distance yourself too much from it, I'm worried you won't get any royalties like you should. So I don't know. Maybe we just keep tabs on old Peter Frampton and make sure that
I'm keeping an eye.
Incredible fast one. Yeah.
But he is very, very nice.
He's a wonderful man, and it was about the third time I've seen him, so it wasn't like I'm not a hater. I love him, but I happened to report the news. I know I'm just call him as I see him.
It happened.
It happened. Yeah, I
Did you
really
ever
appreciate
come-
what you guys do because I've been an AV guy my whole life, and that's kind of how I got into this whole DJ thing. I was a guy pushing projectors around in high school and got trained in a dark room and doing sound for bands and was in a band, and so I love your industry. I was either going to be a used car salesman, an AV guy, or a brain surgeon, and I'm neither one of any of those right now. But they was on my list. Appreciate what you guys do.
The overlap between the music industry and the AV industry is complete. I mean, it's the same people. It's back.
It is very fine line.
Years ago, Kelly hired me to give a presentation at a firm she was the CMO of, and I was just starting to learn guitar, so I worked it into the presentation, and I got the guitar on the plane, brought it out to Minnesota, and I was getting ready for the my presentation. I had my slide deck, I had all my props and everything, and the guitar was out of tune, and I reached for the tuner, and I looked, and she had a sound guy. I should say not sound person. It was a guy. Otherwise, I would say sound person. It was a sound guy. And I'm like, oh, sound guy, you could tune my guitar. And he's like, yeah. And he walks over, he takes it, he tunes it by ear. He was a musician. I knew it. Of course. How else would he have learned to do all the mixers and stuff? Because he was in a band in high school.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, there's cross-pollination across many industries and definitely in this one.
Yeah, certainly.
All right. Well, should we go to take a quick break for our commercial and then come back? Jeff is going to join us for one more segment.
Hey.
Let's do it.
Unleash the power of Audio-Technica's legendary legacy in the enterprise arena. Audio-Technica is renewing its commitment to the Pro AV market with the new Dante-enabled wireless microphone system, Engineered Sound Wireless. For a deeper dive into the Audio-Technica ESW solution, please connect with your local farmer. Prepare to be amazed by Audio-Technica, where audio meets enterprise engineering.
I gotta tell you, usually on a show, the commercials are the worst part. You just sit past the commercials. But I love Audio-Technica so much, and that commercial is so good that...
It's because you're the one doing the voiceover.
What are you...
I was gonna say, who is that man?
I don't know what you're...
I don't know what you're talking about.
David likes it because he gets a royalty every time it's played.
That's right. Hopefully it's good.
All right. So what's our new bit, David? Explain it to the guests.
So we are playing the old classic Name Your Tune. And we're going to keep it short. I'm not playing entire songs. No singing. There'll be no singing.
Come on.
Some of them might be technically licks and not riffs. I'm not sure of the difference between a lick and a riff. And I was told
maybe we can have a karaoke episode sometime.
I'd be up for that.
That's actually how I got my start. I started karaoke in 1991. I was the first mobile karaoke guy in Minnesota. And I thought if I could get 3 gigs a month, I could make my payment because I had to borrow some money. And I would make $120 after buying, I had my little business plan. I was booked 7 nights within a week of my first gig. I was booked 7 nights a week for the next 2 years.
Wow. Oh my God.
I know it was crazy. And then somebody asked me to do a wedding. It's like, and I sucked so bad. Oh my God. I had 8 CDs. Yeah. Could you play Rolling Stones? I don't have that. You don't? What?
Oh no.
It was so bad. It was so bad, but I got through it. And then somebody at the wedding asked me if I could do theirs. And it's like, really?
That's funny.
Sweating. I mean, it was just miserable.
People have so much fun with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's play the game.
Okay.
It's called Stump the Chump, right?
Yes. And I tried to limit it to Yacht Rock. I was told that was a genre of, but I might have an expanded definition of Yacht Rock. It might be a loose definition of Yacht Rock, but okay, let's see.
All right, here we go. That was pretty easy. That is a super group from the 80s, late 70s, early 80s called Toto, and the song is Africa.
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
I'm so bad at this game. I'm glad
we're off to a good start. If you didn't get any of them, I'd be like, okay, either I'm playing it terribly or just picking bad songs, or I'm older than everyone in the universe.
Flashbacks to the wedding.
I recognize the melody.
I don't know what it is.
You know it, right? It's on the tip.
Of course.
Who is it?
I need Gloria in here. I need my wife. She's a master at that.
It was.
It's the
Should I give it
Cars.
away? Yes.
Cars.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, you made my day. We ended on a winner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woo!
Nice.
Oh, you're awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy. Where's it?
So if you jump on SoundCloud, all you have to do is type in Borglando. It's B-O-R-G. It's right here. I don't know if you can see that.
There you go. Nice.
And and maybe if you want to put a link in the podcast.
Heck
There you
yeah. No, seriously, guys, it's one of my favorite. Like,
Well, there's something for everybody. I mean, I've got
it really is.
25 mixes. They're at least an hour. Some are 2 hours. And like Kelly said, it's just for fun. I don't make any money off of them because they're other people's songs, but I try to put my own spin on them. And I do a little bit of DJ magic in there, as well as pick some really good remixes. It's a lot of them are remixes, so it's fresh songs, fresh sounds to older songs, but they don't have to be old too. There's lots of current stuff in there as well. So I appreciate you guys having me on. Kelly, it was great seeing you and Tony last week. Fantastic.
Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
And thanks, Kelly, for letting me work the guitar into a bit, because it's the most narcissistic thing I've ever done. And I enjoyed it so much. It didn't go out perfectly. If you got all three, I would have felt better. But
You gave me just what I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Nicely done.
That's what I did.
Love it.
That was perfect.
My rock star fantasies are fulfilled. I'm a complete human being now. So thank you very much.
So David, if you do listen to, I've got 2 Yacht Rock mixes up there. Those are Yacht Rock. They're it's the harmonies and the keyboards and the cool jazzy drums, and
It's very
Christopher
beautiful.
Cross.
Christopher Cross is the man. He is, and I've got a really cool remix of Sailing, which is pretty badass in one of them.
Nice.
Nice. Well, it's great to meet you, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff. Have a good
Thanks.
weekend.
Bye, Kelly. Bye, David.
Bye. So we are ready
ya.
for our final thoughts?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Hello, everyone. Today's final thoughts are fun facts about Orlando, because I feel like we were just in Orlando. We had DJ Borglando, so it's all about Orlando. So the first one, I have 3 fun facts. One of them is that the Backstreet Boys are from Orlando. They were literally born in the back streets of Orlando, Florida. It happened in 1993, and they decided to name them after Orlando's Backstreet Market. So that's one. 2, Orlando's first name was Jernigan, by the first settler Aaron Jernigan. And that's how the community became that. I have no idea how it got changed to Orlando, but I think I'm glad it did.
Yeah, I wonder why that didn't stick.
And number 3, there's been several movies that have been filmed in Orlando, including Jaws 3, My Girl, Parenthood, Problem Child 2, Dead Presidents, Waterboy, Olive Juice, and Monster. And actually, the biggest one is Lethal Weapon 3, where in the movie they actually burned down, I think it was the courtroom or the city hall.
Wow.
Crazy.
So those are my Orlando facts. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next time.